Hello my friends, welcome to day 14 of Kegel Camp. You are doing so great. Clear your space, have a little bit of room for today's workout. And if you are just joining me today for the first time, please go back and start with day 1. This program builds upon itself, so you need to start at the beginning. And if you're experiencing any soreness or discomfort, please pause, check the video notes, and perhaps put the brakes on this program for now. We want you feeling good. So if you feel good, then let's go ahead and continue with those squats that we did yesterday. So I'll just show you from the side. You want to be really sitting back with your bum, and then when you come up to stand, you want to squeeze your glutes, tuck your tail under just a little bit, and then pull those ribs in as well, so you're really knitting everything together through your core. It's not a big hunch like this, certainly not, but what I want you to do is really feel fired up and strong through the core, like you could bounce a quarter off these abs, right? All right, keep going. Let's go ahead and go back and then up. So back and up, back and up. Maybe you can go a little lower than you did yesterday. 8 more, 8, 7, really sitting back, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feel that lift of the pelvic floor, the pulling in of those low abs and those low ribs. Everything is just so fired up. Okay, this next move I want to show you is a very dynamic pelvic floor and groin area, inner thigh area strengthening move. It is a side lunge. We're going to take it really slow. So I want you to let it all go. First of all, shake everything out. And then I want you to gently engage the pelvic floor. So think of a little tiny little Kegel, little drawing of those low abs so you're really, really ready. What we're going to do is we're going to step out to this side. And as we step out to the side, your toes can be angled slightly outward. And you're going to bring your knee directly over those toes as well. And then you're going to really gather up your strength and come back up to the middle. So here we go. So it's a step out to the side and then a back in. Step out and a back in. As you come back in, you exhale. So it's kind of like how on a squat, when we're really doing the work, using our muscles, we exhale to stand. Same with this. You're going to really land softly, and then as you push back to the middle, you're going to exhale. Let's just do one more on this side. So land softly, knee over those toes. Try not to make sure you're not like this. Knee is over the toes, open through the hips, and then come on up. If that's just too much, you can do this holding onto a wall for support and just kind of practice on a very tiny version of the movement. Hold on to something for stability if you need it. So let's go to the other side. Let it go. Shake it out. Remember, this is dynamic pelvic floor strengthening. If you're not ready for this, it's okay. Go back to a previous day of Kegel Camp. We're progressing pretty fast. So let's do the other side. You're going to be gently engaged through the core, and we're going to move out to our side lunge, dynamic pelvic floor strengthening. So side lunge, that knee goes over the toes, and then come on up. So down and you want to really be lifted through the pelvic floor, gathered up through the core as you push back up to the standing position. Let's just do 2 more. So out, gentle land, and then come on up. And then out, and come on up. Remember that you could always have been holding onto a wall and making the motion even smaller. Make the motion even smaller. Okay, if you're ready, let's go ahead and come on down. We're gonna come into that deep squat, revisit it again. Maybe you need to have the block handy, or maybe you are ready to come into the full squat. I'm going to show you with my bottom still sitting on the block, but again, if you don't need the yoga block, that's totally okay. Or if you need something even higher, if you need to be up on more of a step stool, that's fine too. Just make sure that you're keeping your spine long, your heart lifted, and those knees and toes are pointing in the same general direction. So in this position, I want you to bring your feet, if you're on the block, back just a little tiny bit. So they're definitely back right now. They're actually behind your knees. And if you're in a full malasana, they'll naturally be in that position. So if you're in this position on the block or full malasana, I want you to make sure that your feet are really, really wide. They're definitely shoulder width or farther apart. And you are going to do tiny, gentle lifts of your bum off of the yoga block, or if you're in malasana, just a gentle little lift. So you're going to use your pelvic floor, your glutes, your inner thighs, everything gathering up to lift you like a half an inch just up as you breathe. So it's a lift and a lower. And it's a very subtle motion, a lift and a lower. 3 more times, lift and lower. If you're on the block, it's just like you're lifting off the block at half an inch. And then last time, lift and lower. So you should have felt that in your quads, your glutes, everything, but your pelvic floor too. And it's a breathing exercise too. So you keep the breath flowing as you do this. I like to exhale as I lift and then lower, but you can play with what works for you. Now let's move into a butterfly stretch. So you can do this seated on the ground, or maybe you're up on the lowest height of your yoga block. If your hips are tight, feet together, knees apart, and I want you to sit up nice and tall and then exhale, fold forward. This is a stretch, it's not a Kegel. So you're just relaxing and releasing, let it go. Take a deep breath. Keep your spine long, you're hinging from the hips. We are doing a lot of really unique exercises for your hips, your core, and your pelvic floor in this Kegel Camp. Have fun with it. That's really the name of the game, is to try new things and to have fun. So I hope you are starting to feel this dynamic type of really all-encompassing pelvic floor work. It can be more than just Kegels with you getting your pelvic floor activation. You don't just have to do Kegel exercises to work this part of your body. All right, take one more deep breath in this butterfly stretch. Bring your feet wide and maybe drop one knee down and then the other knee down. This can be on or off the block. Dropping one knee down at a time. And let's end with our same Kegels that we did yesterday. Seated, lying down if you need to go back a step, or seated on the ground like I am, or in a chair. Or if you want to try it standing, you can. We're going to do those 3 steps up and 3 steps down, a little bit faster today. So get started right away if you're ready. If you need another reminder about how these worked, what it was is a 3-part contraction, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze all the way, and then a 3-part release, 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 release all the way. So keep going on your own. And what this does, this lift, lift, lift of the full pelvic floor, and the release, 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 is it works on your coordination and your control. All of this is going to help you keep your bladder continence. It's going to help keep you dry when you are having to really, have a full bladder and can't get to the bathroom. It's going to help with your control, and it's going to help with your coordination, which is good for keeping continence and maintaining continence. It's also good for being able to quickly contract and release when you need to, and also can help with intimacy and feelings of satisfaction and pleasure sexually. So continue this, maybe one more rep of the lift, 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 and the slow release, release, release all the way. And now I'd like you to finish up with just 1 or 2 reps of feeling your pelvic floor contraction a little more in the front, a little more around the urethra and the peeing area, and then release all the way. Maybe one more time, feel it a little bit more in the front, and then release all the way. And then move your focus to the back part of the pelvic floor. So squeeze and lift around the anus area, and then relax all the way, and do it again, another one or 2 times. When you work on these different areas, it helps be able to really strengthen the entire pelvic floor. But sometimes it can be really helpful to focus on that back passage, which can be helpful if you do tend to have a hard time controlling your gas, or if you do have a problem with fecal incontinence, bowel movement issues like that, that is actually quite common. And so if you do struggle with problems controlling your gas or with bowel continence, then it can be very helpful to kind of tune in to the front passage versus the back passage and being able to control the pelvic floor in those different areas. So make sure you're totally released and relaxed now. Let it all go. Move on with your day. Remember, Kegel Camp is just part of a well-rounded fitness program. So go out, go on a low-impact walk, enjoy other forms of exercise besides this. And if you like what this is doing for your body, tell a friend about it, share this, spread the word, give it a like, and as always, come on back for more. Until then, eat clean, move every day, and you will shine brighter.